Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 31st of August and we are going to cover all the important questions for the day. And to get PDF of all these videos, you can join us on Telegram by writing the channel's name Students Point. You can also follow us on Instagram by writing the username The Students Point. Let's begin. But if you are finding this video useful, don't forget to like the video and do share the video with your friends and loved ones to strengthen your channel. Let's begin now. But one notification. From now onwards, I am going to continue this series in English only, as many of you were continuously requesting and messaging me to please continue the series in English only. So I am continuing this series in English. But for those who are comfortable in Hindi, let me assure you that I will start the series in Hindi as well, but after few months. So for few months, if you can manage, then please do manage for it. I will start the series in Hindi as well, and from then onwards, series for both Hindi and English will be continued continuously. So let's begin now. But first let's see the question, and everyone has to try to answer this question in the comment section. The question is, Sadhu Jana Paripalana Sangam was founded by. These are the options. Read the options carefully and then answer. Let's begin now, but first we will see a very important news that the World Bank has said that it is pausing the publication of Doing Business report that ranks countries on the basis of their business competitiveness. It has said that it will investigate into a number of irregularities in 2018 and 2020 surveys. The World Bank stated that the integrity and impartiality of its data and analysis is paramount, and it announced a raft of measures and review of its processes. So it has said that it will re-evaluate and review its processes to rank different countries based on ease of doing businesses. And according to the World Bank, the countries which will be most affected by this decision appears to be Azerbaijan, China, Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. And India is not in the list of countries affected by the data irregularities. So let's begin. Let's see the question related to this Doing Business report. So what is the rank of India, or what was the rank of India in World's Ease of Doing Business report? So it was 63rd. So here A is the right answer. And before this assessment, India was ranked 77th among 190 countries. So remember both this ranking, that India ranked in 2020 at 63rd, while previously India was ranked at 77th. The report assesses improvement in ease of doing business environment in Delhi and Mumbai. So this is one negative point you get here. And if in mains examination, they ask you to critically analyze the Doing Business report released by World Bank with regard to India. So you have to write this point, that this report assesses only the doing business environment in Delhi and Mumbai. And Delhi and Mumbai are not the only cities of India. Considering the vast length and diversity of the country like India, we cannot assume that if business environment improves in Delhi and Mumbai, so entire country is witnessing improvement in doing business environment. However, it is true that Delhi and Mumbai are two major cities of India and they are economic hubs, but still we have many other cities like Chennai, Hyderabad, cities in northern India, cities in eastern India. We have to take in consideration into eastern India like Jharkhand, Odisha, Bihar, UP. Then northeast India, we have vast amount of states, and we have to consider the business environment throughout the country and not just limited to these two cities. And in this year, that is for the report of 2020, when India ranked 63rd, New Zealand ranked first and Somalia ranked last, that is at 198th spot. So remember both these countries rank as well. New Zealand topped the index while Somalia ranked last. The report measures performance of countries across 10 different parameters. We have to remember these 10 parameters as well. At least we have to look upon it. These are starting a business, that it will measure and analyze that whether starting a business in a country is easy or not. Then dealing with construction permits, electricity availability, property registration, credit availability, protecting minorities investment, paying taxes, trading across borders, contracts enforcement, resolving insolvency. And this time two more parameters, this time means for the index of 2020. Two more parameters were considered, which were employing workers and contracting with the government. But these two parameters were not included in the score and rankings. This is an important statement that these two parameters which were employing workers and contracting with the government were not included in score and ranking. Next question now, but before that again we will see the news first. The news was IIT Indore has introduced a one of its kind course to teach classical scientific text to students in Sanskrit, and it has started it with Bhaskaracharya's mathematical treatise Lilavati of almost 1,000 years ago, which was written almost 1,000 years ago. So now we will have a brief idea about Lilavati and Bhaskaracharya. So let's see. Lilavati, which was a treatise on mathematics in news recently, was written by Bhaskara II and not Bhaskara first. Please appreciate the difference here, that it was written by Bhaskara second, not by Bhaskara first. So here B is the right answer. Bhaskara, who lived during 1114 till 1185, that was in 12th century, also known as Bhaskaracharya or Bhaskara second, not Bhaskara first, was an Indian mathematician and astronomer. He was born in Bijpur in Karnataka, remember this state as well, and his notable works include Siddhant Shiromani and Karana Kautuhala. I repeat it once again, Siddhant Shiromani and Karana Kautuhala. And please note that in 1981, ISRO launched Bhaskara's second satellite to honor this mathematician and astronomer. So who was Bhaskara first? Bhaskara first was also one of mathematicians of India, but he lived during the 7th century. This is the basic difference, that he lived during 7th century while Bhaskara second lived during 12th century AD. And he was the first to write numbers in Hindu decimal system with a circle for the zero, and he gave a unique and remarkable rational approximation of sine function in his commentary on Aryabhat's work. And you can join our monthly kind affairs test series. We do organize test series on our website, and thereafter we provide PDFs with all the explanations and answers of each and every questions every month from 15th and afterwards. There are 3 plans which you can subscribe in either of them. The plan is for first month, which costs ₹79. The second plan is for 3 months, which costs ₹219 only, while the third plan is for 6 months, which costs ₹420 only. Many of the aspirants have already been enrolled into it and have been taking benefits of it. So don't miss this opportunity. Enroll yourself into either of the plan, and after enrollment, send your confirmation at the email ID pointstudent2020@gmail.com. I repeat, pointstudent2020@gmail.com. And in this test series, our intention is not only to cover the current affairs, but to ensure the maximum possible marks which you can get in your examinations. That is the reason why we not only cover questions of current affairs for that month, but we also try to cover that topic in a much comprehensive manner, and all the related topics which can be linked to that news or that topic which was in news for that month. And we organize tests for 7 different subjects. These are for polity, economy, international news, science and technology, environment, history and culture, and the small topics are covered in miscellaneous, which include questions for awards, indices, personalities and sports. So do enroll yourself into this test series and don't miss this opportunity. Next question now. International Day of Victims of Enforced Disappearances was observed on 30th of August. So here B is the right answer. And in 2010, by a resolution, United Nations General Assembly has welcomed the adoption of International Convention for Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance, and 30th of August was declared as this day, and it was first observed in 2011. Next question now. Consider the following statements about Chhavni COVID Yodha Sanrakshan Yojana. I repeat, Chhavni COVID Yodha Sanrakshan Yojana. Let's see the options. It is a group life insurance scheme to be implemented through LIC or Life Insurance Corporation. This statement is correct. So it will be implemented by LIC, and it will provide an insurance cover of ₹5 lakh each in event of any unfortunate fatal calamity. This is also correct. So here C is the right answer. And it has been launched by Ministry of Defence and it will cover more than 10,000 employees in all 62 cantonment boards in event of any unfortunate fatal calamity with an insurance cover of rupees 5 lakh. The scheme will benefit permanent and contractual employees including doctors, paramedics and sanitation staff. Next question now. What is the name of Kerala's first marine ambulance acquired by the State Fisheries Department launched in Kochi? So it is Pratiksha. So here A is the right answer. And Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has inaugurated this Pratiksha, which is the first marine ambulance, and the floating out ceremony of two other ambulances, that was Pratyasha and Karuna, was held on the occasion. Next question now. Telugu Language Day is observed on, so it is observed on August 29th. This date was chosen to coincide with the birthday of Telugu poet Gidugu Venkata Ramamurthy, who lived during 1863 till 1940, and he favored the use of a language which was easy to understand to common man, which was called as Vyavaharik Bhasha, and he was opposed to a scholastic language, Gandharik Bhasha. Next question now. Consider the following statements about Agriota. It is a new technology-driven agriculture commodity trading platform that will bridge the rural farmers from India and Gulf food industry. This statement is correct. So it is basically a technology which will link the rural farmers from India to Gulf food industries. And it has been launched by Oman? No. It has been launched by UAE, not by Oman. So here only first statement is correct. B is the right answer. And this e-marketplace would allow farmers to connect with UAE food industry directly, bypassing intermediaries. This platform will help improve Global Food Security Index of UAE. So what is Global Food Security Index? Next question is about that. Let's see now. Consider the following statements about Global Food Security Index. It measures food security across most of the countries of the world. This statement is correct. And it is managed and updated annually by Economist Intelligence Unit. So here you have to point two facts, that it is updated and managed annually, and that too by the Economist Intelligence Unit, or the EIU in short. So here this statement is also correct. It was first published in 2015? No. It was first published in the year of 2012, not in 2015. So here only first and second statements are correct. C is the right answer. And India ranked 72nd out of 113 countries in Global Food Security Index 2019. Singapore was ranked first, followed by Ireland, United States, Switzerland and Finland. Next question now. International Day Against Nuclear Test is observed on, so it is observed on 29th of August. So here B is the right answer. And on 29th of August 2009, which was the 64th session of UNGA, it was declared that 29th August will be declared as International Day Against Nuclear Test. It was first observed in the year of 2010. The resolution was initiated by Kazakhstan. So a resolution was presented to United Nations General Assembly by Kazakhstan. The resolution wanted to commemorate the closure of Semipalatinsk nuclear test site on 29th of August in 1991. And if you have not liked the video yet, do like it and do share the video with your friends and loved ones. Also do subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Pressing the bell icon is important to receive the notification of all videos at the earliest, and never miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day just because a click, that is the bell icon. Press the bell icon and never miss any opportunity. Next question now. In which state's district a campaign called Irada is launched with a view to cover the eligible left out beneficiaries under various social welfare schemes? So it has been launched in a district of Jammu and Kashmir. So here B is the right answer. And it has been launched in Doda district, and Doda district Deputy Commissioner Dr. D. Doifode launched Irada. So quite easy to remember that in Doda district it was launched by Dr. D. Doifode. Quite similar sounding words. And the campaign view to cover eligible left out beneficiaries under various social welfare schemes. Now let's see some more points which were in news. Recently, Army's Research and Referral Hospital said that former President Pranab Mukherjee continues to be in deep coma, but he is hemodynamically stable. What does this medical terminology means? Hemodynamically stable. See, a patient is called to be or said to be hemodynamically stable when blood circulation parameters like blood pressure, heart, and pulse rate are stable and normal. Next point now, the New Delhi railway station is to be redeveloped by Rail Land Development Authority at rupees 6500 crores. New Delhi railway station is the second busiest railway station in terms of passengers in India, and it is also the largest route interlocking. It has the largest route interlocking system in world along with Kanpur Central Railway Station. So I hope you find the video useful. Do like and do share the video. Subscribe and press the bell icon. Wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay safe and thanks for watching, and we will meet again tomorrow.